It was a muggy midnight in the rundown trailer park on the outskirts of Tulsa, and I, Jack Mercer, was nursing a lukewarm beer, staring at the peeling wallpaper of my single-wide. The contractor life I'd built over 15 years had crumbled 6 months ago when my ex-wife, Harper, claimed terminal cancer and walked away with everything, our house, my equipment, even my dad's old boat, while convincing the courts I was too unstable for custody of our daughter, Lily. I'd sold it all to cover her treatments, totaling $480,000, only for her to file for divorce right after, saying I wasn't right for her anymore. A sharp knock shattered the silence. I cracked the door to find Mason Cole, a private investigator with a weathered trench coat and a manila envelope under his arm. "Mr. Mercer? I'm here about Harper. I've got proof she faked it all." He stepped inside without waiting, spreading photos and documents across my rickety table. Harper hadn't endured real chemo at any hospital. Instead, she'd gone to a boutique clinic in Austin for saline drips, vitamin stacks, and appetite suppressants to mimic side effects. The scans in her chart? Edited fakes pulled from another patient's file, slotted in by her cousin, Dr. Nolan Pierce, an oncologist who'd signed off on it all. Every asset I liquidated, house sale, equipment auction, the boat, even my wedding ring, funneled straight into deposits at a St. Kitts bank and crypto wallets linked to Harper's offshore trust. Her divorce attorney, Reed Dalton, had orchestrated the gaslighting, painting me as erratic in court filings to strip me of everything, including Lily. My hands shook as I traced the paper trail. "How did you get this?" Mason leaned back, his eyes steady. "That's just the start." Mason's words hung in the air like the humid Oklahoma night. He pulled out more files, detailing how Harper's treatments were a sham from the start. No grueling hospital sessions, just weekly trips to that Austin clinic where Dr. Pierce, her cousin, oversaw the facade. Saline drips to dehydrate her for that gaunt look, vitamin stacks to feign recovery spikes, and appetite suppressants to drop the weight. Side effects? Staged with makeup and acting classes paid through the clinic's backdoor accounts. The medical scans everyone pitted her over were doctored, pulled from a real patient's file, edited to match her timeline, and stamped authentic by Pierce himself. Dalton, the attorney, wove it all into court documents, arguing my denial of her illness proved I was unfit for Lily. I slammed my fist on the table, the beer bottle rattling. She took everything. The house I built with my own hands, the equipment that kept Mercer Build Company running, Dad's boat we'd fished from since I was a kid. Even pawned my ring to scrape together the last $50,000 for her final round. And now Lily's with her grandparents because the judge bought the sob story. Mason nodded, sliding over bank statements. Every sale synced perfectly, house closing to a wire transfer, equipment auction to a crypto tumble, boat title to St. Kitts. Harper's offshore trust ballooned by $480,000, all while she whispered in my ear about fighting together, only to serve divorce papers the day after her remission. But I wasn't alone in the fight. My family had been my shadow army, working angles I didn't even know. Mom, Ruth, a retired bookkeeper with a steel trap mind, kept my contractor license active through a shell vendor account she'd set up in her name. "Jack, you focus on surviving," she'd say over late-night calls from her duplex across town. "I'll handle the paperwork." Every month, she'd file extensions and log dummy jobs to prevent suspension, buying time without alerting Harper's lawyers. My brother Mike, a mechanic with a knack for tech, took it further. He'd tagged Dalton's sleek BMW with a GPS tracker one rainy afternoon outside the courthouse. "Just routine maintenance," Mike joked when I asked, but he'd mapped every meeting, late nights at Dalton's office, drop-offs at a sham charity called Hope Haven Foundation, Pierce's front for laundering donations. Mike cross-referenced plates and timestamps, building a digital trail that showed Dalton shuttling cash envelopes to clinic staff. He shared the logs with me in encrypted drops, never saying a word to the cops yet, waiting for the right moment. Dad, Leo, the quiet type who'd passed the business to me after his heart scare, played the long game. While I holed up in this trailer, he quietly bid on my old lot at a county tax lien auction. Used a blind trust through an old union buddy to snap it up for pennies, forestalling any foreclosure Harper might push. Son, lands the foundation, he'd grunt over poker nights at his garage. That purchase set the stage for injunctive relief, freezing her asset transfers and preserving my claims to the property. The family's moves wove a safety net, turning my isolation into a counterstrike. Mason watched me process it all, then dropped the first twist. I wasn't always on your side, Jack. Harper's insurer hired me 6 months back to validate her claim, big payout on the horizon for terminal care. But digging in, I hit walls. Forged imaging timestamps, clinic logs that didn't match visits. Then I found this. He cued a recording on his phone, Pierce's voice, smooth and clinical, haggling with Dalton over kickbacks. The foundation gets 10% as donations for the protocols, keeps the IRS off our backs. Emails followed, ledger snapshots showing clinic funds siphoned to Harper's trust. Mason had flipped, turning it all over to the Oklahoma Attorney General that afternoon. This isn't family court anymore. It's felony territory, fraud, conspiracy. They'll bury them. My mind raced. The AG's office moved fast. By dawn, I imagined warrants hitting desks. But Mason wasn't done. There's more. Those scans? They belong to a real patient, Elena Vargas, a single mom from Dallas. Her care got delayed because Pierce slotted Harper's fakes in first, bumped her chemo slots to cover the boutique sessions. Elena's story exploded the con wide open. Federal probe kicked in, healthcare fraud under HIPAA, money laundering through the offshore accounts, even custodial interference for yanking Lilly based on lies. Subpoenas flew, clinic records, bank traces, Dalton's client files. The timeline unraveled. First, diagnosis, meeting between Pierce and Harper, Dalton's retainer signed same day, my first asset sale just hours later. Harper's world imploded quickest. Cornered by feds, she took a plea deal, spilling details on the clinic ops and trust setups. Custody flipped back to me overnight, restitution checks started rolling for the $480,000, clawed from frozen accounts. Dalton faced disbarment hearings first, ethics board revoked his license amid the recordings, then prison for the laundering counts, a 10-year bid that ended his firm. Pierce crumbled under the federal weight, pleading to data falsification and wire fraud, his medical license gone, clinic shuttered, he'd served time in a white-collar pen. I stood in the trailer, dawn light filtering through cracked blinds, as Mason packed his files. The lot Dad bought back became mine again through fraud-based rescission, court voided the divorce asset split. Mercer Build Company relaunched from a storage unit, my old crew trickling back, heard what happened, boss. We're in. Neighbors lined up contracts, word of the scam spreading like wildfire. Lily returned that weekend, her small hand in mine, asking about the bad dreams Mommy had told her. But I carried the weight. I spent $480,000 to save my wife from cancer, she lived, then said you're not right for me. Those words became my anchor. I started mentoring others hit by fake illness scams, support groups at the community center, teaching the rule, trust but verify, document every bill against care logs, cross-check statements. Help families hold their homes, just like mine. The old trailer key stayed in my pocket, a jagged reminder, rebuild one verified step at a time. Months after the dust settled, I woke up in the house I'd reclaimed, not the sterile rental, but my original build on the Tulsa outskirts, with its wide porch and the faint scent of fresh lumber still lingering from repairs. The court's fraud-based rescission had wiped the slate clean, voiding Harper's claims like they'd never happened. Lily bounced into my room at dawn. Her 7-year-old energy a whirlwind, clutching a drawing of us fishing on Dad's old boat. "Daddy, can we fix the dock today?" she asked, eyes wide. I ruffled her hair, the weight of the past easing just a bit. Custody was mine now, full and unchallenged, with supervised visits for Harper only if she stuck to therapy and restitution payments. Mercer Build Company hummed back to life from the garage. The old crew returned one by one, Tom with his hammer skills, Carla handling permits, Javier sourcing materials. "Boss, we knew she was full of it," Tom said over coffee, slapping my back. Word spread fast in Tulsa. Neighbors who'd pitted my breakdown now lined up contracts. A duplex flip here, a garage addition there. The lot Dad bought at auction became the anchor, its blind trust dissolving into my name. Injunctive relief had frozen Harper's transfers early, preserving every dollar for clawback. The feds traced the Street Kit's account, seizing crypto wallets and forcing her offshore trust to cough up the $480,000 principal, plus interest. My first check cleared the liens, the rest funded Lily's college fund and a new truck for jobs. But the scars ran deep. Evenings, I'd sit on the porch, turning that trailer key over in my palm, the one from the rundown park where Mason first showed up. It grounded me, a talisman against forgetting. Harper's plea deal kept her out of heavy prison time. She cooperated fully, naming every clinic staffer involved in the saline drips and vitamin charade. Testifying against Pierce and Dalton bought her leniency, probation, community service at a real cancer support center. I saw her once at a supervised park visit, looking smaller, no makeup gauntness. "Jack, I got scared," she whispered, but I just nodded, focusing on Lily's swings. No room for old lies. Dalton's fall was swift and public. Disbarment came first, the Oklahoma Bar Association citing the recordings Mason turned over, Pierce haggling kickbacks as foundation donations, Dalton shuttling envelopes. His firm folded overnight, clients fleeing like rats. Federal charges stuck, money laundering through the sham Hope Haven, custodial interference for twisting my reputation to sway the judge on Lily. 10 years in a low-security facility, no early out. I read the sentencing in the paper, Mike grinning over breakfast. Track that BMW right to the drop-offs. Worth every oily rag. Pierce lost everything faster. The federal healthcare fraud probe, sparked by Elena Vargas's delayed scans, hit him like a freight train. HIPAA violations for forging imaging, wire fraud for the edited files slotted into Harper's chart. His plea to data falsification meant license revocation and 5 years federal time, plus fines that bankrupted his Austin practice. Elena got her care retroactively covered, and her story fueled media coverage, national outlets picking up the fake cancer scam angle. Mason testified in the trial, his flip from insurer hire to whistleblower sealing the convictions. Couldn't stomach delaying real treatment, he told me later over beers. The Oklahoma AG's office closed the loop, but the feds took the big wins. That's when I pivoted to mentoring. The community center in Tulsa became my second site, twice-weekly sessions for folks burned by similar cons, spouses faking illnesses, draining savings, vanishing with kids or cash. I'd start each talk with my line, "I spent $480,000 to save my wife from cancer, she lived," then said, "You're not right for me." Heads nodded, eyes welled. No fluff, just the rule, trust but verify. Document everything, every doctor's note, bill, scan. Cross-check billing against actual care, did the hospital log match the visit? Pull bank statements side by side with asset sales. For families, I walked through preserving homes, tax lien watches, shell accounts like Mom's to keep licenses alive, GPS tags on suspects' rides like Mike's Play. One group stood out, a guy named Ben, trucker from Broken Arrow, wife claiming MS to siphon his pension. I helped him audit her clinic visits, vitamins, not infusions. We filed for injunctive freeze, got his daughter back. Another, Sarah, elderly widow hit by a terminal nephew, taught her to trace deposits, leading to an AG referral. Ruth joined sessions, handling the paperwork demos, Leo shared auction tips, Mike demoed basic tracking apps. Lily even drew verify checklists for the walls, turning pain into purpose. Life rebuilt brick by brick. Contracts piled up, a neighbor's extension tied to my story, if Jack bounced back, so can we. The boat? Dad and I trailered it to the lake, Lily casting lines. Harper faded to holidays, her restitution steady. I pocketed the trailer key daily, reminder of rock bottom. Rebuild one verified step at a time, no more blind faith. Tulsa's skyline sharpened at dusk from my porch, the company thriving, family whole. Proof that truth, documented, cuts through any con. A year into the rebuild, Mercer Build Company had doubled its crew, tackling a strip mall Reno in mid-Tulsa that kept the books flush. Lily started 3rd grade, her backpack slung over the porch rail as she practiced multiplication tables inside. I'd glance at her through the window, the house feeling solid again, new shingles from Javier's supplier, fresh paint from Carla's pick. But that trailer key still jingled in my pocket, a habit I couldn't shake. It marked the pivot point, where blind trust turned to verified steps. The mentoring group grew beyond the community center. I partnered with a local legal aid clinic, running workshops on scam red flags. Thursdays at 7 p.m., folding chairs filled with wary faces, a nurse doubting her husband's chronic pain excuses, a retiree auditing grandkid emergencies. I'd open with the line that started it all: I spent $480,000 to save my wife from cancer, she lived, then said you're not right for me. It hooked them, no fluff, straight to the rule. Trust but verify, photograph every medical bill, log visit timestamps, match receipts to bank pulls. For assets, cross-check titles, did the sale deed align with the treatment date? Mom, Ruth, demoed spreadsheets, her shell vendor tricks now a template for license protections. Mike brought gadgets, showing how to tag vehicles without breaking laws, his Dalton maps anonymized for handouts. One session changed trajectory. Entered Carla Ruiz, not a victim but a whistleblower from Pierce's old clinic. She'd been a nurse there, administering the saline drips under orders, but quit when Elena Vargas's case surfaced. I saw the fakes, she said, voice steady. Harper's charts, the edited scans, Pierce rushed them through while real patients waited. Carla joined the crew months back, handling admin, but now she shared insider docs, clinic ledgers showing kickback flows to Hope Haven, Dalton's, consult fees, as coded entries. We forwarded it to the AG, loose ends tying tighter, prompting a follow-up probe on unreported accomplices. Harper's shadow lingered. Her probation required check-ins, and restitution hit $20,000 quarterly, but she missed a payment, citing job loss from the scandal. Court-mandated makeup, but it stirred old doubts. Lily asked about her during a school project on family trees. Mommy's sick in her heart, I explained, keeping it simple. Supervised visits continued at the park, Harper bringing puzzles, her eyes avoiding mine. Mason checked in sporadically, now running a PI firm focused on fraud cases. Your stories in seminars, he said. Keeps the feds sharp. The real test came with a big contract, restoring the county courthouse annex, one on my rep for resilient builds. But midway, a subcontractor flagged irregularities, bids mirroring Harper's old tactics, lowball offers from a shell tied to Austin. Mike traced it, a Pierce associate sniffing for revenge payouts. We verified every invoice, documented chains, froze the deal until cleared. AG looped in, nipping it. That win landed media, local news profile on scam survivor turns builder. Contracts surged, a school edition, neighbor co-ops. Evenings, Dad and I tinkered on the boat at the garage, Lily handing tools. Verify the knots, Grandpa, she'd say, echoing my lessons. Ruth tallied the year's gains, company revenue up 150%, Lily's fund at $100,000. The trailer key? I hung it on a porch hook, visible reminder. No more hold-up nights. Rebuild meant forward, verified, brick by verified brick. Tulsa's growth mirrored mine, one solid foundation at a time. 2 years post-scandal, the courthouse annex stood complete, a testament to Mercer Build Company's grit, clean lines, energy-efficient panels, dedicated by the county judge who'd once ruled against me. Lily, now 9, unveiled the plaque, her speech memorized, "My dad verifies every step, so nothing falls." The crew cheered, Tom hoisting her on shoulders. Contracts flowed, commercial rehabs, eco-home builds. Revenue hit 6 figures, enough for a company truck fleet and Ruth's part-time role as CFO. The trailer key hung framed in the office, labeled Foundation Lesson. Mentoring expanded to online forums and a podcast, Verify First, co-hosted with Mason. Episodes dissected scams, fake diagnoses, asset drains. Listeners emailed stories, a mechanic pawned tools for a sister's surgery that vanished. I replied with templates, scan logs, bill audits. One case hooked national attention. Tara Mills, a teacher from Norman, whose husband faked ALS to fund a mistress's clinic. Echoed my con, saline mimics, forged MRIs from a delayed veteran's file. Mike traced his truck to Shady Meats, Carla vetted medical claims. We guided Tara to AG filing, freezing his accounts. Outcome mirrored mine, plea, restitution, custody return for her son. "Your rule saved us," she wrote. Harper's arc twisted unexpectedly. Probation ended clean, restitution paid in full, $480,000 plus penalties. She relocated to Dallas, working admin at a legit oncology center, irony not lost. A letter arrived one spring, "Jack, I'm sorry. Therapy showed me the fear that drove it, money, control. Can I see Lily more? Court-approved unsupervised weekends, cautious. First meet at the lake, on Dad's boat. Lily cast lines, Harper silent at first, then sharing real stories, no lies. Mommy's better now, Lily reported. I watched from shore, key in pocket, verifying her changes, check-ins with Mason, clean records. Trust rebuilt, one outing at a time. Family bond solidified. Mike opened a security side hustle, GPS tech for fraud watches, crediting my ordeal. Leo retired fully, handing boat keys to Lily for grandkid lessons. Ruth digitized the mentoring kits, adding apps for real-time bill crosschecks. A group trip to Austin, clinic site now a community health hub, closed loops. Elena Vargas joined us, her scans cleared years back. Delayed care, but alive, she said, hugging me. Pierce's old office? Repurposed for free screenings, no foundations, just verified care. Challenges persisted. A rival contractor, smelling weakness from old rumors, underbid a school project. I countered with docs, our verified bids, scam survivor creds. One on transparency. Lily's questions deepened, "Daddy, why'd mommy lie?" I answered straight, "Fear makes people hide. We verify to see truth." She started a school club, Truth Checkers, teaching peers to spot fakes in ads, news. Podcast hit 10,000 downloads, landing sponsor, a legal aid firm. Mason and I planned a book, Trust but Verify, Surviving the Scam. Outline started with my line, "I spent $480,000 to save my wife from cancer, she lived, then said you're not right for me." Chapters on family plays, Ruth's shells, Mike's tags, Leo's auctions. Helped dozens hold homes, templates for liens, asset traces. Dusk on the porch, Lily sketching designs for a treehouse build. Harper waved from her car, pickup smooth. The key? Still there, but lighter. Tulsa sprawled below, opportunities verified. Rebuild wasn't just mine, rippled out, one documented truth at a time. No more shadows, only solid ground. 3 years on, the book, Trust but Verify, hit shelves, co-authored with Mason, its cover a simple key silhouette, mine from the trailer. Launch at the Tulsa Library drew a crowd, mentors, victims, even a Fed from the AG's office. Lily read the dedication, "To those who document the light through lies." Sales funded a nonprofit arm of Mercer Build Company, offering low-cost renos for scam-hit families, kitchens rebuilt while we audited their cases. Podcast episodes branched to interviews, Elena Vargas on delayed care, Tara Mills on reclaiming custody. My opener stayed constant. I spent $480,000 to save my wife from cancer, she lived. Then said you're not right for me. It framed every tale, driving home the rule. Business boomed with the nonprofit tie-in. We tackled a neighborhood rebuild in East Tulsa, post-tornado homes fortified against more than storms, verified contracts, no shady subs. Carla led the crew, her clinic whistleblower status a selling point for trust. Mike's security firm integrated, installing cams for clients watching suspect spouses. Ruth managed grants, her spreadsheets now grant-winning tools. Leo, ever the fisherman, volunteered boat therapy sessions for kids in custody battles, calm waters for tough talks. Harper's integration tested limits. Unsupervised visits evolved to overnights, her Dallas job stable, therapy reports clean. One weekend, she joined a family barbecue, helping Lily with s'mores. I verify my changes daily, she said quietly, echoing my lessons. No apologies demanded, actions spoke, extra restitution for Lily's braces, a college savings match. Mason ran background dips quarterly, all clear. Lily bridged us, her club, Truth Checkers, now school-wide, posters on bill audits dotting halls. Mom verifies her stories now, she told me proudly. A new case pulled me in deep, veteran Ray Harlan, Gulf War vet whose brother faked PTSD treatments to drain his VA benefits. Saline therapies, forged psych evals, Pierce's playbook redux. Ray contacted via podcast, voice breaking. I flew to Oklahoma City, Mike tagging the brothers' van en route. Carla reviewed records, delayed real VA slots, funds to a crypto shell. We filed joint with the AG, freezing assets, securing Ray's home. His thanks came in a Reno donation, Mercer crew fixed his ramp. Your rule, Jack, verified me out of the hole. Challenges sharpened skills. A media storm hit when national news linked our cases to a rising, illness fraud ring, copycats using Austin-style clinics. Feds subpoenaed our docs, I testified in D.C., detailing the con, scans swapped, assets funneled. Outcome? Expanded probes, our nonprofit consulted on prevention. Lily watched coverage, asking, Daddy, do you miss the old house fights? I shook my head. We build better now, verified. Evenings wound down on the lake, boat rocking gently. Dad cast lines, Ruth tallied quarterly wins, 50 families aided, $2 million in restitutions traced. Harper texted updates, co-parenting seamless. The key? Mounted in Lily's room, her Verify talisman, for homework doubts. Tulsa's horizon glowed, company vans branded with the rule. Ripples spread, one verified truth fueling the next. No end to rebuilds, just steady steps forward. 4 years after Mason's midnight knock, the nonprofit, Verify Builds, incorporated fully, merging Mercer Company with Scam Recovery Services. We renovated a victim shelter in downtown Tulsa, secure units, audit stations for bill reviews. Lily, 10 now, designed the logo, a key unlocking a house. Book tours took me to Dallas, where Harper hosted a signing, her oncology admin role lending credence. Proud of this, she said, signing copies. Co-parenting stabilized, shared holidays, her input on school without overstep. Mason's checks cleared annually, trust, verified, held. Podcast peaked at 50,000 subs, episodes on ring busts. Feds credited our tips for cracking a nationwide fake illness network, clinics mimicking Pierce's, funds to Caribbean shells. Ray Harlan guested, his brother's plea echoing Dalton's, laundering, fraud. We aided 200 families, restitutions totaling $5 million. Mike's tech scaled to app form, KeyTrack, GPS for asset watches, sold to legal aids. Ruth trained volunteers, her template standard in AG trainings. Leo's boat became a mobile seminar, lake talks for vets like Ray. A curveball, anonymous threats, mail warning, stop digging. Traced to a Pierce ex-colleague, bitter over lost license. Mike tagged the sender's car, feds handled, charges for harassment. It hardened resolve. Lily's Truth Checkers club went district-wide, kids verifying school fundraisers. Like Daddy's Rule, she explained in a youth TED Talk, going viral locally. Business thrived, green builds for Tulsa's expansion, contracts with state offices post-probe. Harper proposed a family trip, Grand Canyon. Verified plans. We went, hikes documented, no lies. Back home, Lily asked about the trailer. I showed photos, where truth started. The key stayed in her drawer now, passed on. Reflections came at the annual barbecue, crew and men's mingling. Elena spoke, your con exposed the cracks. Tara added, rebuilt my life. I raised a glass, I spent $480,000 to save my wife from cancer, she lived, then said you're not right for me. But verification saved me. Laughter, nods. Tulsa's lights twinkled, foundations solid. Ripples endless, one step, documented, at a time.